remember that show, That 70s Show? Well, you probably know that one of the lead actors is in big trouble.
You were big on the party scene.
A little bit, yeah. He had like all the hookups.
Look, we took a night off a week. We took a night off. We had to shoot
One
our
night
show.
off a week.
Yeah, you know, you got to get some sleep.
But he knew, like, he'd been here, like, grew up in the whole thing here. And this was like pre-TMZ, pre-cell phone camera. So
Yeah.
you could, like, go out.
Danny Masterson's private journals have surfaced. And what's inside them could finally unravel Ashton Kutcher. These alleged journals, according to emerging reports, directly name Kutcher as an industry gatekeeper tied to Epstein. Someone who allegedly helped keep that network running. Someone who shielded it from exposure. And this may be the revelation that finally breaks him, a collapse that, for many, has felt inevitable. Because this is the same Ashton Kutcher who built an entire foundation around fighting child trafficking. The same man who stood before cameras preaching protection of the innocent is now allegedly named as a gatekeeper for the most notorious predator in modern history. So what exactly was Kutcher's alleged role? And has his carefully constructed image finally met its end?
Like my friend Bodie Elfman, he always teases me and he says, "Hi, my name is Danny Masterson. Would you like to touch my..." You know, doing an imitation of me. Because certain words
why are you asking people to do that? That's the more important question.
I mean, you got them.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Accent aside,
Everybody should grab.
that's the more important thing.
Exactly.
I've heard about you, and you'll be caught soon.
Many still remember that 70s show, the beloved sitcom that catapulted Danny Masterson, Ashton Kutcher, and Mila Kunis into Hollywood stardom. But for Masterson, that legacy has long since crumbled. Convicted on multiple counts of sexual assault, he now faces an entirely new wave of scrutiny, this time centered around an alleged personal journal that has reportedly been leaked. And what that journal allegedly contains isn't just damaging for Masterson. It has Ashton Kutcher deeply unsettled. According to reports, the journal carries direct evidence connecting Kutcher to Jeffrey Epstein. And this isn't the first time that connection has surfaced. Within the Epstein files, emails reportedly exist suggesting that Kutcher's team had direct contact with Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman at the center of Epstein's criminal operation. Those communications, allegedly sent through Kutcher's assistant, appear to have been arranging meetings with Maxwell during the production period of his show Punk'd. What makes these emails particularly disturbing is their content. Detailed coordination for an underage girl and her father to visit the set, under the stated premise of helping the girl pursue an acting career. The messages reportedly included precise arrival instructions, designated meeting points, and contact information that has since been redacted from the files. A woman named Ellie Halsman, who had previously worked at Miramax before joining Kutcher's production company, was reportedly assigned to personally welcome the girl and speak with her about the industry. The visit allegedly included a full set tour, a direct meeting with Kutcher himself, and possibly a shared meal. If the journal is verified and these details hold up, what follows could be the complete and permanent destruction of Ashton Kutcher's public image, a reputation that has already been eroding steadily over the past several years. That unraveling began in March 2017, when serious allegations first emerged against Danny Masterson. 3 women came forward, each describing incidents they claim occurred in the early to mid-2000s. All 3 had ties to Masterson through the Church of Scientology, an institution both he and they were deeply embedded in. The alleged assaults reportedly took place inside Masterson's Hollywood Hills home, where the women claim he served them drinks that left them confused and unable to resist. What followed was not just trauma, it was institutional silence. The Church of Scientology allegedly pressured these women to stay quiet, shaming them and actively blocking them from pursuing legal action against one of its prominent members. One of the accusers later expressed profound regret for not coming forward sooner. Another had actually reported her experience to law enforcement back in 2004, only to face immediate shunning from the church. The organization was further accused of orchestrating so-called fair game campaigns against the plaintiffs, allegedly involving physical confrontations, property destruction, character attacks, and even harm to their animals. Masterson denied everything through his representatives. But denial wasn't enough to save his career. At the time, he was appearing alongside Kutcher on Netflix's The Ranch. Then in December 2017, a 4th allegation surfaced, and Netflix terminated him immediately. A 5th soon followed. When the revival series That 90s Show was later developed, every major cast member from the original show was brought back. Everyone, except Masterson. His character Hyde was written out entirely. No mention. No explanation. Just absence. The first season premiered in January 2023, and his erasure from it felt like the industry's quiet verdict on a man whose fall had been years in the making.
But I watched it because I wanted to see how they were going to address Danny's absence. Because it'd be super weird, right? If every single main character was making an appearance on the show, but then they just never addressed what happened to Hyde. But that is kind of just what they did. They didn't address Hyde's character at all. So I was like, if you had an actor on your show who is being accused of the kinds of things that Danny is being accused of, why not put in some sort of shady remark toward him in the series? Just as a way to show the audience.
In the early 2000s, when the allegations against Danny Masterson reportedly took place, Danny, Ashton, and Diddy were really close friends. So close that they had a name for their supposed squad. They called themselves the Rat Pack. Hanging out, going to clubs, and now two members of that pack, Diddy and Danny, are serving time in prison for similar crimes. Yet, Ashton claims he knew nothing about what was happening. So much so that he and his wife, Mila, in 2023 wrote character letters showing their support for Danny before he was sentenced for his crimes. Kutcher said Masterson's family approached them and requested character letters describing the person that he had known for 25 years. Kutcher and Kunis were among 50 others who wrote character letters about Masterson to the judge during the sentencing process. Kutcher once wrote, "He showed me what it truly means to face life without flinching, to confront every problem, every tension, every difficult truth head-on, resolve it, and keep moving. I haven't just seen that in how he treats me. I've watched him show up for others the same way. The kind of friend people spend their whole lives searching for. The kind of brother most people will never be fortunate enough to have." Mila Kunis wrote her own words in his defense. "In every moment we shared, Danny was something rare, a genuine friend, a trusted confidant, and more than anything, the kind of older brother presence I never knew I needed. His ability to care deeply, to guide without judgment, shaped who I became, not just as a person, but as someone navigating this industry." Both Mila and Ashton pointed to Masterson's unwavering position on sobriety, crediting him as a defining influence behind their own choice to stay clean. Kutcher went further, stating that Danny set a standard I measured myself against. "The reason I never got pulled into the destructive spiral that swallows so many in this industry, that credit belongs to him." Mila echoed that sentiment, writing that, in a world where this industry pushes you toward every possible form of self-destruction, Danny was the voice that steered me away from all of it. Both she and Kutcher also spoke to who he was beyond the set, praising him as a devoted father to his young daughter and a committed husband to Bijou Phillips, his wife of 23 years. Kutcher wrote, "He redefined what it meant to be a present father. We have spent more hours together with our children than I can count. He belongs to a very small circle of people I would trust completely, alone, with my son and my daughter." Kutcher closed his letter by stating he did not believe Masterson represented any continuing danger to the world around him, and that stripping his daughter of her father would itself be a profound injustice, one layered on top of everything else. Kunis, for her part, stood firmly behind his character, vouching for the depth of his integrity and the genuinely transformative impact he had carried into her life and the lives of those closest to him. Now pause for a moment. Sit with everything Ashton and Mila said about Danny, and then hold it against what Danny was ultimately convicted of. Either they were deliberately lying to that court, or they genuinely had no idea who their closest friend truly was. And given how intimately Ashton described that bond, that second option is almost impossible to believe. So what does it reveal about a man when the people he surrounds himself with carry secrets this dark? Danny Masterson is now behind bars. 30 years to life. And Ashton Kutcher, the man who swore he knew nothing, sat down and wrote a letter to that court calling a convicted predator a role model. He told a judge that Masterson was among the few people he would trust alone with his own children. He argued, in writing, that Masterson posed no continued threat to the world, and now, Masterson's alleged journals have surfaced. And they don't just place Kutcher in Epstein's orbit as an acquaintance. They name him as a gatekeeper. Someone who allegedly helped Epstein's operation function. Someone who allegedly helped shield that network from the light. Two of the people closest to Ashton Kutcher, convicted or accused of some of the most disturbing crimes imaginable. Yet Kutcher maintains he was blind to all of it. He defended one in a courtroom. He was reportedly woven into the life of the other. And now his own name is being pulled into the darkest corner of the Epstein story. The question was never really whether Ashton Kutcher knew. The question the world is now asking is far simpler: how could he possibly not have? So the leverage is real. Danny Masterson may actually hold something over Ashton Kutcher. And that contradiction cuts deep, because the man Kutcher so passionately defended in that courtroom letter may be the very same man now holding the power to destroy him. The walls are closing in. And Ashton Kutcher may be next to fall. Time is running out. And when it finally does, Ashton Kutcher will have nowhere left to hide, facing the same devastating reckoning that already consumed the man he once called his closest friend.
Games, you know?
But nobody's
Roger.
going to take your pictures, so you could really wow out, and nobody would know what you did last night.
I have more photos of Commando Kutcher here, naked in a club, than probably anybody.
No way. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Only
With my
at, like,
Polaroid.
after it closed.
Well, you know.
The full Kutcher.
Yeah.
No, you have 0 pictures of the full Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher's reign as Hollywood's golden boy is over, at least in the court of public opinion. A December 2025 report from the Daily Mail revealed he is desperately clawing for relevance again, after a string of damaging decisions systematically dismantled everything he had built. His hopes are now pinned on Ryan Murphy's upcoming series The Beauty, a role he believes could rebuild his image and quietly bury his past mistakes. But if that alleged journal is ever verified, any comeback he manages to piece together could collapse before it ever finds its footing. His last attempt at a return didn't go well. The 2023 romantic comedy Your Place or Mine landed with a crushing 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, critics and audiences alike pointing to a glaring absence of chemistry between him and co-star Reese Witherspoon. It made headlines for all the wrong reasons. A source close to the situation told the Daily Mail that Kutcher is operating from a place of desperation. He sees his mogul role in The Beauty as his last real lifeline. He is fully aware that he has lost the trust of the industry and the affection of the public, the result of choices that can only be described as deeply misguided. The signs were impossible to ignore. He and Mila began noticing the invitations slowly drying up, fewer events, fewer rooms they were welcomed into. According to the source, Kutcher carries a visible shame over what his past has cost him. The Masterson defense. The Diddy association. Neither has faded from public memory, and he knows it. So desperate has he become that he is privately turning to close friends, asking them directly whether they believe he will ever find his way back. The man who once owned Hollywood is now quietly begging for reassurance that Hollywood will take him back. The controversies don't stop there. Kutcher has also faced accusations of infidelity against his former wife Demi Moore, deeply inappropriate remarks about Hilary Duff made when she was still a minor, and a public defense of Penn State coach Joe Paterno, the man dismissed for his silence surrounding Jerry Sandusky's horrific scandal. A desperate man. A crumbling career. A controversy list that never seems to end. And now Masterson's alleged journals threaten to bury whatever fragments remain. Kutcher wants redemption. He wants the public's warmth again. He wants to step back into the light as though the shadows never existed. But the past has a long memory. Masterson's journals. The Ghislaine Maxwell emails. The underage girl on the punked set. The character letters written for a convicted predator. The closeness with Diddy and Masterson. The comments about Hilary Duff. The defense of Joe Paterno. None of this is a collection of random missteps. This is a pattern, deliberate, repeated, and undeniable. And patterns, eventually, demand a price. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Does Ashton Kutcher deserve the opportunity to rebuild, or should these journals mark the permanent end of everything he has left? Will The Beauty be his resurrection, or the stage where it all finally falls apart?